The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the check. Wow. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. You still on the zone 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grit. Jimmy Hitchman with the chill, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I killed a man allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip. It's a bad bitch on the elevator, I'ma let her in. Let your hater be a motivator, I can't let you win. Fever dream is human calculator, stack it by the 10. Put the Lambo on the elevator, bring it to the den. Put the Mustang by the balcony, I'm fly like Peter Pan. I'm so glad they turned their back on me, cause we weren't really friends. And it ain't even 10, and I woke up on a 10. And I don't need no pen, all I don't need no pad. The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the check. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. He still on the zone 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grits. Jimmy Hitchman with the chill, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I killed a man allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip. Gotta keep them snipers with me, dawg. I got more enemies than 50, dawg. He popped a burger, said he nodding off. On higher look, they just might pop it off. 11 o'clock, she popped the natter off. That bitch so bougie, yeah, she bad enough. That bitch so thick, you know she lit enough. It's Gucci, man, you know it's bricks involved. The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the chick. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. Still on the zone 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grits. Jimmy Hitchman with the chill, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I killed a man allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip.
Today, we're going to talk about the college basketball and NBA slate, college football plays for tonight, and of course, the squad ride. This is Behind the Lines.
But Rodgers is a fucking fossil. This team's in shambles. The Steelers are a wagon at home. It's going to be a gross fucking game. And I'm going right back to fading the Jets.
And once again, the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan, when the lights are bright, do not show up, and they fold. Their receivers are banged up. The ones out there couldn't catch shit. Their defense is taking a step back. This 49ers team is a fucking joke, and I'm looking at you, Kyle Shanahan. You're supposed to be that guy.
In the postseason for the first time in his career, and they find a way to fucking blow it. Look, we should have known the Yankees bullpen was going to come back and bite them in the ass at some point. They've been a little bit too good, but my goodness, did we think it was going to be a big Christmas?
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Wednesday, episode 582 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not tracking your bets on Bookit, change your life. Start tracking today. Go check out Bookit. It's free to use. Could not be easier to track your bets over there on Bookit Sports. W Bookit, W Jovan, W Squad Rides, W Potatoes.
Potatoes, dude.
How about it?
It's 2 games in a row, Krabs. 2 days in a row to start the season. Just nominations for bet of the year.
I mean, they almost won that game outright, folks.
Yeah, and they shot literally -% from 3.
Never seen a team shoot worse and almost win a ball game on the road. Unbelievable. Idaho State, so much heart. I mean, they were oozing heart.
Oozing, dude.
Oozing. Unbelievable play. Hope you guys tailed. If you're not tailing during the CBB season, what the hell are you doing? Back-to-back squad rides on the college basketball hardwoods that have cashed with ease. All right, hopefully I didn't jinx it there. Knock on wood. Let's run it back today because I got a couple plays in college basketball and college football that we're going to talk about later today. I think you've got some NBA as well. We're going to spend plenty of time on it. I know you guys want your NBA fix after no games last night. Don't you worry. We're going to get to it. Okay, but first, why don't we go ahead and recap the Sharp Report from yesterday? Let's get over there. Let's check that out. Well, great Asabar ball.
Yeah,
The play that mattered for me hit the potatoes. Everything else, cake. Absolute cake. God, man, Ball State. I'm going to save that one for the Steamed Krabs because that was absurd.
Steamed.
Jovan, you got any comments about your plays, my man?
I was kind of heated at a Marchenko SOG stat correction, but take those on the chin. Abs over was there. Texas Tech.
Yes, it was.
For covering.
Yes, it was. Great call. Yeah, I'm happy your over hit on the ice because mine was an atrocious one. So at least we split there. You get a late night over at plus chicken, I believe. Love that. All right. Well, W sharp report there. Why don't we go ahead and hop into the Steamed Krabs? We'll get it over with because we do have a lot of games to talk about for today. Do we have 30 seconds, a minute for me to bitch?
Of course.
Let's run it. Gootsy, fire it up. Yeah, Ball State, team total under 17.5, huh? Favorite play yesterday? My fucking bet. Why don't we just buy it down to 19.5 just to be safe here in the two-piece for the ladder challenge? That should work. Guys, this is brutal. I mean, look, Ball State, they deserved to fuck over this, ladder challenge and fuck over my bet with the way they played. Talk about heart. Ball State showed an immense amount of heart last night, that's for sure, against Miami of Ohio, who really didn't fucking have a pulse in that entire game. They still found a way to win, but Ball State also found a way to go over their team total. It sucks because they did play well, so I can't bitch too much about it. But the only reason this lost is because of this dumb and stupid play that happened. And if this doesn't perfectly describe Maction on the debut of Maction on a Tuesday night, I don't know what else will with this play, Jovan. I mean, we've got the punter dropping the football when he's about to punt and then panicking like he's never played the sport before, just launching the football out there. Next thing you know, it's picked. And next thing you know, it's 6. Brutal. This was the difference for going over the team total. If this doesn't happen, if we punt the ball like a normal fucking team, the team total still goes under, and we're on day 3. Moose.
It was literally like he's fucking Trent in college football 25.
What is this play? What are we doing throwing that football up in the air like a bozo? Just go down with the ship. What are we doing? You already dropped the ball when you're punting. Just call it. Chalk it. You fucked it up. You don't need to make it worse, and he found a way to make it the worst situation possible. Unbelievable how Ball State hit this fucking over. Insane. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Get this fucking highlight off the screen. That shit makes me sick to my stomach.
Man, it's unbelievable.
Alabama State the night before, then I got to deal with that shit. Come on. Brutal. W. Peyton Josh coming in, resubbing during TMA. WTMA earlier today with LC and Mikey. If you guys missed that, you can always go back and rewatch on the YouTube as well. Okay, before we get into the plays for today, I want to go ahead and remind you guys to join Team Trent. Okay, today I believe is the last day to potentially sign up and join Team Trent and get selected to be on our team. So if you don't join by today, you don't have any chance. All right, get involved. We'll drop the link in the chat here again. Guys, it could not be easier to join the team. I know there's some people sitting in chat right now saying, I'm not fucking doing it. Krabs is annoying me. He keeps telling me to fucking join the team. Just do it and get it over with. You're not joining any other teams. It's free to join. Okay, and it takes 30 seconds. We'll drop the link right now in the chat. Even if you don't use Prize Picks right this second, all you got to do is have an email associated with your account to join the team. Get involved. If you used Prize Picks before, join the fucking team. We'll drop the link one more time in the chat. Could not be easier. Get involved. Okay, we're winning this shit. Get involved. All right, link is in the chat. W's, let's move, let's groove, and let's get into some plays for today, huh? Why don't we go to the Sharp Report? Get into some winners. Let's talk them. Yeah, let's start with college football for me, Jovan. I'm really liking what I'm seeing right now on the gridiron in this game with NIU. I don't care if the line's pulling back a little bit, a hair from -2 to -1.5 for NIU now. They open up as dogs in the spots, which is pretty weird in my opinion, considering NIU, the season they've had where I feel like they just do the opposite of what they should be doing in every game. You look back at what NIU has done in every game this season. It's like they play a good team. They show up. They might even win outright and beat Bowling Green. They might, cover and beat UMass and put up a 34 spot. They might even beat Notre Dame. What the fuck? This NIU team makes no sense. But when they play bad teams, for some reason this season, they've absolutely blown it. Well, I think that corrects itself today. I think NIU, they lock in, they get a big-time win here on the road. Seeing them flip from a dog to a fave, in my opinion, is a great sign off of back-to-back losses to Toledo and Ball State as favorites in both of those games. Like I said earlier, for some reason, this NIU team, when they play good teams, they show up this season. When they play bad teams, they absolutely fall flat on their face. Maybe they're getting fat, happy, and complacent, thinking they could just beat teams, not really showing up and locking in, considering they beat Notre Dame earlier this year. Well, I think that corrects itself, and I think they get a big-time win against Western Michigan, who has won 4 games in a row sneakily. They're coming off a 52-21 win against Kent State in their last game. They've covered their last 3 games in a row as favorites. It really hasn't been close. This Western Michigan team, Jovan, is looking sharp. There's no reason why this spread should be flipping or moving towards NIU. There's no reason why Western Michigan should be a dog in this game. And this is my favorite college football weekday play, maybe all season, definitely in a couple of weeks. Wow. I want to go ahead and put the chat on notice there. I love the Huskies today. I think for the first time this season, they actually show up against a team they're supposed to beat, and they take care of business as favorites on the road.
Love it. I'm glad you had something on the gridiron, because I leaned that way right there with you, but I didn't love anything on the slate, so I'm 100% down to get involved.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it doesn't have to win the squad ride vote, but it definitely has to go in there. That's how confident I am with this play.
Sure.
Okay. Look, college football has been pretty fucking solid for me the last 2 weeks. NFL, we're still working out the kinks, although we did have a W week last week, but we know it's been the fucking year of chalk, especially in the NFL. But last week in college football, 10-5-1, up 3 units. The week before, 10-5-0, up 3.7 units. So we're kind of locked in right now in college football. And although I did give out a loser last night with that team total under, cake, moose shit, probably should have hit. It didn't, whatever, it's over. We're getting those coins back tonight with NIU.
I'm down. I like that play from you.
Good. Good. It's all Huskies tonight. Let's swing it around to you, Jovan. I want to hear what plays you're cooking up today.
Start on the hardwood. Taking the Warriors. What is probably, I mean, you would think it's going to be the best game across maybe any slate tonight, because you got some hockey on, obviously. You got a lot of NBA. This is going to be the nationally televised game, and it's Warriors versus Celtics. I mean, crazy narratives across the NBA that we can talk about for a little bit. Some of them are on the Celtics side, but the Celtics are missing Jaylen Brown, not the first game, so it's not like I'm buying fresh bad news there, but people, I mean, the Warriors have been sneakily good. I don't even know if you can say sneakily this season, even when they've been shorthanded without Steph Curry. And now he's come back the last couple of games and been on a little bit of a minutes restriction / I think he was going to get off of it last game, but it ended in a blowout. So you weren't really able to see that regardless. But he's going to be fully healthy and turned up for this game. And this is 2 teams really facing each other that are just going to shoot the shit out of the 3. Obviously, the Warriors have done that for years. The Celtics have been doing it better than I think anybody else the last year and a half. So this is going to be a matchup just like what everybody hates about the NBA, that you're just chucking from the line on both sides. But the Celtics give it up plenty. A lot of these high-usage guards have been absolutely torching the Celtics, and Curry 100% fits that mold. And now I think he's going to be coming back fully healthy in a perfect matchup, and this game's going to be close. I feel like it's kind of destined with this, I think, being the epicenter of the slate tonight, that it ends up being a damn good game that comes down to the last possession on ESPN for the whole world to see. So I like the Warriors. They're I'd say still a little weird, even without Jaylen Brown. They're getting a point and a half steam on the road against the Celtics, and the Celtics have been pretty superhuman, especially in Boston, the last 2 years. So give me the Warriors to potentially pull the upset on the road.
Wow. Look sharp. Spread's coming down from 7 to 6, 6.5, depends on where you're looking. Maybe it's the Warriors on the road showing up against the Celtics, catching them sleeping. They're looking pretty good their last couple of games. They've won and covered their last 4 in a row. Celtics have won their last 3 in a row. They're not playing bad, but Warriors are starting to lock in here. It's starting to click, right? Coming off that win in DC. I love this play. Take the points. We might need them. It could go down to the last possession. I feel like this will be a really close, really fire game, honestly, on ESPN tonight. I'm excited for this one.
Should be. Hopefully.
I'm excited for this one.
Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's going to try and be Superman tonight because he's playing against Steve Kerr. Hopefully that works his demise. I know he's been great so far this season, but maybe he tries to do a little too much today and proves somebody wrong over there. And
that's a narrative I could get behind.
Staff. Yeah,
that's for sure. That's for sure. All right. And then what about the Irish? I don't want to wait around. I want to hear this sell job. I'm a closet Notre Dame fan. You're taking the Irish on the hardwoods. What do you like about them today?
Yeah, so this is like my comp for your Louisville play, because it's a team that you're super high on coming into the season, and you think they're a little under-respected as far as line-wise. I don't think that necessarily applies because I think this line's actually pretty fat, but it's backing a team where they're super talented, and we kind of both earmarked them at the end of last season that they're going to be a team to watch out for in the ACC this year, similar to Louisville, except Louisville, you had to wait through the portal to see what was going to happen with that team. But Notre Dame, they have a bunch of talented guards, whether it's Burton, who's a floor general, you got Shrewsbury's son's kid or coach's kid, a lot of guards, and they're going to play this weird Stonehill defense that they play like 5 out, like a super weird zone. So it usually takes some adjusting to get into. And if you're a team who can't shoot, you're going to have a little bit of trouble with it early on. Notre Dame, the whole focus of getting this team together in the offseason is so they could shoot. They literally came in their exhibition. They shot 14 of 28 from 3. It's an emphasis going into the year, and they have 3-point shooters almost 1 through 5. So this is not an issue with them. And they have a lot of very smart players on the court, whether it's Marcus Burton, whether it's Shrewsbury, whether it's Mataloko coming over, who's one of the smartest sneak mid-major basketball players that people are probably going to find out about soon. I think this is going to be an absolute destruction. And it does go without saying, like, Stonehill is absolutely awful, sure, but the one thing that they do kind of give people trouble with their defense for a little bit because it's such a weird new look. But when you have a team that has this many shooters, this many guys that can handle the ball and make the right passes at every single level, every single position on the court, they're not going to have a problem in the slightest with it. So I think they're perfectly matched up to run 5 out with Stonehill, like on their defensive side of the ball too. But they're going to score at will, and they're going to shoot every single 3 that they want in this game.
Mm-hmm. All right, you're expecting a big win, 30-plus point win from the Irish here. I could see it. I hope you're correct and gassing up this team. And I know they might not be as good as Louisville squad is right now. I do like your angle of saying, hey, Notre Dame is a sleeper team in the ACC this season. Nobody's talking about them. Love the coach. Love some of the pieces they have. Still have a very underrated floor general in Burton. I think this is a pretty fucking good play. That's a fat number there for a reason.
Fat. And I was looking,
by
I was curious because obviously it's not the same team year to year, but when you have a team like Stonehill, I guess the market perception really doesn't change all that much. They were only like 34 and a half. I was looking 34 and a half. They opened last year when they went to UConn. So the fact they're sitting 27 and a half against Notre Dame feels incredibly odd to me.
Yeah, that's some respect for the Irish, I feel
that's
like.
That's a lot of respect.
Interesting. All right, give me Notre Dame. I'm in. Let's get a 30-point win and go about our day. We'll fade Stonehill. I'm fading another nasty college basketball program, and this is probably going to piss some people off. Chat, want to go ahead and get out ahead of this one? I'm fading Le Moyne today. I'm not happy about it, okay? But look, money's green, and when I see a play that I love, I see a play that I love, and I got to let you guys know. No biases whatsoever. You guys know I don't give a fuck. I'll fade my teams. I'm just trying to find you guys winners, okay? And I know I love Le Moyne College, the Dolphins, okay? Don't let them get hot. It might be too late. This team, is near and dear to our hearts over, after last season when they made us some coins, and they're just kind of a meme, honestly, coming up from, D2 or whatever. But Le Moyne in this game, I mean, they've already got a game under their belt right now. Both these teams do. Let's dive into the matchup. You got Le Moyne, who almost just beat Syracuse. Okay, Le Moyne hung in there with Syracuse on the road. They put up 82 points in their first game this season, Jovan. That wasn't supposed to happen. 82-piece at Syracuse? They only lost by 4? That's fucking weird. They should have lost by 44 to Syracuse, big name program. Come on now, on the road? That's crazy. And then you look at what Cal State Northridge did in their first game. They got obliterated by St. Bonaventure, who I'm not very high on this season, although that's a pretty solid basketball program, mid-major. They got destroyed by them. They were plus 7.5. They lost 56-70. And for some reason, Cal State Northridge is looking like the sharpest play in college basketball today. They moved from +1 to -2, -2.5, depends on where you're looking. I locked them in on the ML earlier today, like -115. Cal State Northridge is winning this game. And I'll tell you what, it's not just one of the sharpest plays on the fucking slate, and not only the splits, which are extremely sharp, and there's some big bets being placed on this road favorite now, Cal State Northridge. There's some basketball reasoning to it as well. And although we can obviously assume Le Moyne's not going to put up that same offensive performance in back-to-back games, it's Le Moyne College. I would love to fade Le Moyne after almost beating Syracuse, and I would love to back Cal State Northridge after getting pretty much embarrassed, plain and simple, in their first game of the season. They're better than that. They're more talented than that. And although Le Moyne looked better in their first game, Cal State Northridge is the more talented squad. It's not really close in my opinion. If you look at the two best pieces of these teams, Lemoyne's got this kid from Latvia, Freds Paulus Bagotskis. And he had a great fucking first game, the junior. He's 6'8". He's only 180. This kid's a string bean. Okay, but this kid balled in their first game. He dropped 18 points. I got a feeling he's going to have some trouble against Keontae Jones and this Cal State Northridge Matadors team. He's a little bit of a thicker forward, Keontae Jones, over 200 pounds, 6'6". If he ends up being put on him, I think Keontae Jones gives him the business. He's also the best scorer on this Matadors team as well, and overall just the best player. So I'll tell you what, people might be overreacting a little bit to this Bagotski's kid on Lemoyne after an 18-burg against Syracuse. I think he's going to have a heck of a time against Keontae Jones, the senior, who's been around the block, and he scored 16 points in that first game. And although they didn't win, didn't look too good against St. Bonaventure, I can trust the more talented Keontae Jones and the Cal State Northridge Matadors to get a win on the roads as one of the sharpest plays, if not the sharpest play in college basketball today.
And then revenge game too. After
Matadors,
Lemoyne beat him by double digits last year.
Yep. You don't think they remember that?
Yeah.
Come on. Revenge game. Love this play. Favorite college basketball play of the day today. And then we go to a team that you guys have actually heard about and care about. That's Auburn. Okay. Talked about Auburn on the pod. And guys, by the way, if you missed the college basketball pod, plug here, you can still watch that. It's still extremely relevant. Go check it out on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. We'll drop the link to that one more time here in the chat. Check out the pods. But I talked about Auburn on the pods. I'm pretty high on this team. I like what Bruce Pearl's got cooking over here. Look, they bring in JP Peggs, who I think is one of the clutchest guys in college basketball. That guy can hit the three ball, especially when it matters. They bring in Miles Kelly, who I'm pretty high on. Didn't like him at Georgia Tech, but you put him in with a good coach and a good program. Excited to see what Miles Kelly's got. They've got Tahad Pettiford coming in, who's like one of the best guards in the country, supposed to be. I'm assuming he's going to start right off the rip. They've still got Janai Broom. They've still got Chad Baker-Mazzara, who I'm going to talk about here in a little bit as well, who I think is just one of the best glue guys in college basketball, and he's going to impress some people and turn some heads this season. This team's fucking loaded. Plain and simple. This Auburn team is good. But that's not the only reason why we're taking them. Okay, we don't just take good teams and lay fat spreads for no reason. If we did, if it was that easy, my whole betting strategy wouldn't work and I wouldn't be up here right now. Okay, we're not just laying 17.5 with Auburn, one of the best teams in the country. This play is also sharp and gross as well. If you think about it, they're playing Vermont, the Catamounts, who are known as one of the best mid-major programs in college basketball over the last decade or so. This team wins their conference every year. They go to the dance every year. They have one of the best coaches in the mid-majors in college basketball, which makes me a little bit nervous laying this number. But seeing Auburn move and groove all the way up to minus 17.5, that kind of takes away my concerns for fading the Catamounts and that well-coached team. They're coming off a +6, or I think they were +5 against UAB. They're coming off a win outright in that game against UAB. And Auburn, they're still looking for their first win this season, right? They haven't played a game yet. This is their debut. I think they show up and show out after getting embarrassed by Yale last year in the tournament. I think we see Auburn in their first game of the season. This one's personal for Bruce Pearl. It's tough to play in the jungle. If there's any time to fade Vermont, this is the spot to do it. And seeing Auburn, a team that is sketchy, a team that people don't want to back, a team that kind of folds when the lights are bright, laying 17.5 against this Vermont program. Are you kidding me? That's extremely telling to me. Although they might be public, splits look sharp, bigger bets are being dropped on Auburn. I think they win this game by 20+. This game means more for Bruce Pearl. It means more for the Tigers. And I want to fade Vermont coming off that big outright win.
Yeah, that spread is fat for that Vermont program. I was a little surprised to see that line. So I'm down to lean into that with you.
Yeah, we just got to fucking pray. Lock it in a bet against Vermont, man. It's not for the faint of heart. It's typically not good business. No.
Not fun at all.
Let's hope it is today. Okay. Let's swing it back around to you, Jovan. Let's hear these other plays. What are you cooking up over there?
Last one, I got the over in the game with your Caps involved.
Wow.
This one. And debated going Caps for a little bit because I do think they win this game. But part of the reason I'm taking the over, the Preds are coming off a shutout, and they coming off this little homestand they had, similar to a spot that I took that earlier in the season. They had a homestand, then they came out. Granted, it was against the Blackhawks, but they came out that first game after and were absolutely firing after that homestand. And they're really bad on this homestand too. They turned a corner. They looked better, I guess, in a couple of games, but overall a pretty uninspiring homestand. Now they're going on the road. I think they come out fired up, and they're facing undefeated Logan Thompson in net, who is quite certainly, I don't know if there's a goalie more due for some sort of stinker than him, but I think the Preds come out fired up. Rare time where I do want to back this team to do something offensively because I've been very heavy on the fade the Preds train and they've been fucking terrible. But they got to go out to DC and start this road trip with a bang. I think they come out super aggressive. The problem with that is that leaves them very open defensively. And the Caps are one of the most opportunistic teams in all of hockey. When you let them get in a wide open game with a lot of mistakes at the back, you saw that, I guess, the Rangers game was a big example of that. We'll do that, and they'll get in these type of games. So at home, I think the Caps are going to go back and forth a little bit. I think they're going to withstand whatever the Preds are going to throw at them early. Maybe the Preds squeak out a couple and Logan Thompson looks human for the first time this season, and the Caps are forced to strike back a little bit and aren't able to sit back, which is really out of their comfort zone. So I like goals in this game. I think the Gen's in here too. I think unironically, I like the Kraken over for different reasons yesterday, but I know he's been preaching a system of or trying out a system. Team off of a shutout against the team who lost their last game. They've been soaring over. I guess the Kraken fit that last night. This also does fit it. So not for all the same reasons, but I'm in on goals.
2 words, goals.
Goals.
Love it. You were sharp last night with the over. Let's go back to it. And speaking of the ice, I want to shout out our Chelgot for cashing not 1, but 2 parlays last night. Can we clap it up for Chelly? Cashed a Frosty 5. He cashed a Chele. He was on sweats late. Sweat that out with you guys. Sweating out the election. Sweating out the fucking parlays. Unbelievable. Great work, Chelly. Great fucking work. Happy for you, my man. Long overdue. Let's fucking go. Bankroll built. Let's run it back.
Sharks. Go to.
Let's run it back. I saw a hilarious tweet or a reply to one of our tweets. I think gassing up Chelly for cashing bet those parlays. It was like on a night when we needed him most, when there was no NBA, when it was dark, Chelly was the light. And last night he was. He was the light last night.
Locked.
He came through, the shining light.
They tried to kill him with Trent's tweet and Benneke's tweet.
Oh, they tried. I don't even want, like, I see Trent in chat splooging. He better not be splooging.
Yeah, he better not.
He did everything in his power.
Everything he could. It's
jinx
actually even more incredible that he smacked it with those factors being involved.
Sure. Maybe it was just meant to be. Let's fucking go, Chelly. Atta boy. Way to overcome the adversity and cash for the boys. Love it. Yeah, I know Prime was trying to cake it. Good fucking shit.
Dude, Prime faded. He was doing his best for it to hit.
Oh, wow. Okay. W Prime, good work. Thanks for taking one for the team there. Okay. You want to get in some prize pick squares for today? All right. I like Ethan Hampton, QB of NIU. Passing yards is pretty high in this game for a reason, at least compared to what he's been doing recently. Not really that high for a QB passing yard square, but for him, of late, it kind of is. And that's because he's going to have a field day today against his Western Michigan defense. Absolute field day. Total in this game is pretty high and for good reason. And we've seen points in these weekday games. I don't think that ends tonight. I'm stupid enough to be taking team total unders and shit. That's on me. But I do think our guy Hampton cooks. I don't think it's going to be on the ground for the Huskies here. I do think they're going to have to cut up Western Michigan through the air. And seeing Hampton, along with all of his weapons that are up on the board with these high-ass receiving yard squares, is making me think, well, they're probably going to do it through the air. I'm not really feeling they're going to do it on the ground against Western Michigan's D-line anyways. It's been one of their shining moments or one of their shining pieces of that roster. I think we fade or we back that narrative of maybe Hampton getting involved through the air here and backing some of those receivers or tight ends. This could be a WMO stack or maybe even a demon lineup for us if they put up some of those options, Jovan, because I think this one could get ugly. I think this is going to be a high-scoring rout. And I do think Western Michigan maybe puts up some points, carries some of the confidence from their last couple wins. It's not going to be NIU 50-0. They put in all their backups and Hampton, somehow hooks here. I do think Western Michigan is going to put up some points as well. They've got plenty of confidence and they're still at home in this game, but I like the over. I love NIU. And Ethan Hampton is due for a breakout game. And against this Western Michigan defense, you can't really ask for a better matchup, to be honest with you. Can't.
Amen.
And then Chad Baker-Mazara. This is probably turning into my favorite square of the day. I talked about Auburn earlier. I probably like this square better than I even like Auburn on the spread, but I do really like both. Chad Baker-Mazara is such a glue guy for this Auburn team. And in a year where they're bringing in all these new pieces, right? They got a bunch of new shiny toys. JP Pegs coming in, Miles Kelly coming in, Pettiford, the freshman, coming in. They still have Janai Broom, who people like. Denver Jones, also a glue guy for this team. There's so many bodies. Chad Baker-Mazara is the last guy people want to take. He's the least flashy, but he gets shit done. And he really is a glue guy for this Auburn team. If you listen to what Bruce Pearl's been saying after the scrimmages these guys had, Bruce Pearl has literally said numerous times, this team is better with Chad Baker-Mazara out there on the court. And I'll tell you what, as long as this isn't an absolute blowout where Auburn's winning this game by 50, I think Vermont will at least have enough respect and enough heart to keep it within, 30 points, 35 points. Chad Baker-Mazara is going to be the centerfold of this offense when people least expect it. If you look back at what they've been doing in these scrimmages, it's crazy. The guy's got 13 rebounds in the 2 scrimmages, and he's a fucking guard. And he's racking up assists as well. He's got 8 assists in these 2 scrimmages. He's been the centerfold of the offense. It works through him, and I don't think anything's going to be different in the first game of the season when the lights are bright. Feed the guy who's the glue guy, the leader of the team. He might not be the biggest name guy or transfer coming in. I need to see with those new pieces out there on the court. What I know is that Chad Baker-Mazara and Janai Broom, they're going to run shit out there. It's not going to be an issue. And I'll take Chad Baker-Mazara's PRA after all the diamond and dishing he's been doing and the rebounds he's been grabbing in these fucking scrimmages. I'll take him on his PRA instead of his points at 8.5. I think he goes off in all facets of the game, and he ends up being an absolute stat stuffer. He might not get 20 points, but I could totally see him getting, 10, 6, and 4. And it's not even really going to be close to this PRA number. This is a bad number. They're not hip to what's going to happen and who the center of this offense is, at least early on this season while the new pieces get settled. It's going to be Chad Baker-Mazara. Bruce Pearl's made that very clear. Very clear.
Chad season, dude.
It's Chad season, folks.
Chad
Take notes.
Season, Krabs.
Get involved. Chad Baker-Mazara. Remember the name. Remember the name. What are you cooking up over there on prospects?
I'm taking the Warriors today. So obviously I'm betting on Steph. Read it out. 3-pointer chart, 4.5, which is crazy. Obviously it's Steph, but saying read it out 4.5 3-point chart is absolutely insane. But if they're going to win this game, it's going to have to be through Steph, especially because, like I said, all these high usage guards, especially the ones that have been doing it from behind the arc, have been absolutely torching the Celtics. And I'm going to have to get involved with this, especially because you remember the last time? I don't know if you remember this. They played in Boston. That was that game, maybe the most embarrassing loss in Warriors history.
Whoa.
Or at least in this team's history.
Whoa.
They lost by 52 in March of last year. And Curry also went 0 for 9 from 3. Granted, they didn't play like I don't think they played the second half at all. But that was probably the most embarrassing loss I've seen a Steph Curry Warriors team take. So now they're back today. They're back with a vengeance. The minutes restriction, I think, would have been lifted in the Wizards game last game, but they didn't have to because the game got out of hand a little bit early. But now he's on full go. The Warriors are winning this game. Steph's making 5 threes, and we're going to call it a day. And it's funny I bring up the high usage guards torching the Celtics because you know what? One of the only ones this season who didn't do it happens to be Trae Young, because he had a tour date performance when they played the Celtics on Monday. He's coming off a 1 for 10, 0 for 6 from 3, only had 2 points and six assists in 23 minutes because they also got out. But he's coming in fresh, and you know where he's playing today, Krabs? Talk about all the NBA narratives today. He's playing the Knicks in the Garden. And you know he is at home, so he's not in the Garden because he's struggled in the Garden, I think, a couple times. But he's playing the Knicks, who Trae Young is enemy number 1 from the Knicks because of what he did.
All that chirping, running around the stadium, talking shit to the stands. Yep. Yeah,
he fucking loves being the villain against the Knicks.
Yep.
And I think this is a perfect time for him to have a bounce back performance because, like I said, he's one of the few guards who didn't do shit against the Celtics. It definitely helped in that they're getting blown out in that game. But the Knicks team, they're still like hard-nosed defensively, but not nearly as much as they were like in years past because that team kind of changed shape a little bit. Obviously, when you bring Cat in, you get a better scoring option, not as tough defense. They're a little more exploitable in the pick and roll too. So I would have just ideally taken a points and assists here for Trae Young, but that's not up. I'm just going to take the PRA because I think he's going for 25 and 15. One of the more underrated stories I would say so far of the NBA this season is just how good Trae Young has been. I think this is a perfect opportunity to showcase that. Maybe they have a shot to pull an upset too, but I have to bet Trae Young after that horseshit game, and now he's playing literally enemy number 1 in the Knicks. Can't do anything else.
You might be taking 2 goats, but you cannot be taking them in better spots, in my opinion. Okay, you've been waiting patiently. It's not like you're throwing Steph Curry and Trae Young up here every fucking day, but when you do, obviously I'm looking at it thinking, what the hell's going on here? He's got 2 GOATs. But after hearing the breakdowns, I mean, you couldn't ask for 2 better narratives to back these 2 gents. If you had to pick one, what's your favorite play? What's your favorite NBA narrative to back today on Prize Picks?
It's probably Steph. I have to do it. Have to do it.
Got to be
lights
Steph.
Are the brightest. Lights are the brightest on as bright as they can be, I guess, in the regular season. On a primetime slate or a primetime slot in a slate with not much else going on, this is going to be the highlight. I'm taking the Warriors. He's hitting 5. He's splooging.
People forget Virginia Tech still did not give him an offer when his dad went there and was the best player of all time. Not even a handout offer.
No handouts.
Like they weren't like on the fence, like maybe thinking about it, and maybe you lean towards giving Del Curry's son an offer, and he can maybe change your program forever. Yeah, that makes too much sense. Fuck it. Cash the hook you mentioned, chat. -1,000. Cash it. Jovan, obviously don't love, backing Steph Curry and Trae Young, but today I'm going to love it. I'm going to lock these in with my 2 squares. Guys, I love my 2 Prize Pick squares today as well. Feel dialed. Feel ready to cash a 4-man, BTL 4-man. All right, I'm throwing these in there with mine. We're cashing that shit.
Yep.
I'm in. You want to head to the NBA right now and maybe talk about it a little bit more?
Sure.
I feel like we owe the people some NBA talk. I know we didn't have any yesterday. Trying to do some more NBA coverage for you guys and give you some winners. Jovan, maybe we pull up Pickett Pro and look at some of these games, but you talk about some of the narratives, right, with Trae Young and Steph Curry. I feel like there's a lot of NBA narratives today. Loaded slates, a lot of games. You want to go over some of these narratives that are going around the league right now that people might want to tap into?
Yeah. So, I mean, the big one, I guess, one of the biggest ones that I don't want to bet because I'm on the Warriors, but it's probably going to be absolutely air. I mean, Tatum's playing against Steve Kerr today. So I do think that eventually works against him, especially now that Jaylen Brown is not playing in this game. He's going to have the freedom to do whatever he wants. And while I do think that's good from a volume perspective, I love betting on that in the course of the game. But if you're talking about Tatum, individual props or squares, you're going to see that probably plenty today, and it's probably going to be air. So, like, that's a big narrative today. Like, even in the late night slate, you have James Harden going against the Sixers, and that's probably a crazy narrative where he's probably going to go for trip dub in that game. Paul George too. I don't know how much hate is really in his heart for the Clippers, but he's playing his former team, dude. Like, we have a ridiculous amount. Even if you want to go like the Chris Paul route, he's playing the Rockets today. Like, there's a lot going on.
Tons of revenge narratives. A bunch of revenge narratives across the NBA today. Jeez.
Yeah.
A lot of weird angles. And obviously, if people aren't hip to the Jason Tatum versus the Warriors beef, it's obviously because, Steve Kerr benched him in the Olympics. And you think maybe Tatum might want to get some payback there, maybe show off in front of Coach Kerr. That's kind of the bit there. Okay. A lot of narratives. I'll tell you what, the 2 that you talked about the most, I love. And I think you have really good squares in those games, back in those 2 GOATs. The game that's interesting to me the most is the late night NBA game, 76ers against the Clippers. I just want to see what the fuck Paul George does. I think he's playing in this game. I think he's supposed to play. Yeah. What is Paul George going to do against the Clippers? Paul George recently has just turned into, I don't even know what to describe him as. It's like, I feel like he's just lost his powers. Remember Paul George? He took LeBron and the Cavs, I think, to 7 games in the playoffs when he was like a rookie, or early on when he was on the Pacers. Where is that Paul George gone? Where's the Paul George gone with all the fight and the heart and the grit? I know that was forever ago, but geez, he's turned into a different player, and he didn't do a lick of anything on the Clippers for the last half a decade, plain and simple. Is he going to show up on his new team against the Clippers on the road in their new stadium? I could see it. That's the angle that I'm most excited for. And isn't there another angle in this game as well?
James Harden.
Mr. Harden playing against his former team. That's going to be must-see TV, in my opinion. ESPN, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there for that one. I don't even like the NBA, but I'm going to be tuning in on that one. That's going to be crazy.
From chat too, W narrative. Westbrook against the Thunder tonight, sitting on 199 trip dubs.
I mean, you can't ask for a more narrative-filled day in the NBA. This is a day that I could get involved with. You got some stories. You can bet on the people aspect of the game and not just the stats and numbers. I might have to take another run through the NBA boards and see if I can find any more winners for today, because it's looking like one of those nasty days. You can back some of these weird narratives, back some of these players playing against their former teams, right? I love that shit. I love that shit. You're telling me Russ isn't getting his, 200 triple-double of all time against his former team?
Wouldn't it be something?
We might have to take that.
I'd
Should we
have
look
to.
at some of the prize pick squares for some of these goats?
Yeah, we can take a peep.
Like, I want to see what Russ has up. And obviously, he's probably going to be popular, but like Russ PRA, dudes? You're telling me
Might
that's
have to
not a
keep
decent
Paul.
look today? Shit. I also want to look at Paul George. Not going to lie. He's at 21.5 points, which, I mean, what? The guy's played one game so far? One game against the Suns this season? He had 15. I don't know what the minutes restriction is going to be with him. Maybe somebody in chat who's an NBA god can let me know. Can kind of cut some of the research down here. And by the way, we got a 5-unit sub ban coming in from Colt Stick.
Let's go.
Got to give him some credit here. Let's fucking go Colt Stick. Sure we can. Sure we can. But yeah, Paul George, 21.5 points. I'm not even saying I want to take it.
Played 32 minutes against the Suns, so I assume if he's playing,
That's
there's no
decent
restriction.
chunk.
That's
Yeah,
it's a fat
decent chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That interests me. But also, he might not be mentally strong enough to get a win here. And the way Paul George has been playing the last couple seasons, he might just not give a shit. He might just be there cashing paychecks, right? What about James Harden?
Yeah. If I'm backing any of the revenge in this game, it's surely James.
Okay. He might be petty enough to care enough to show up.
So petty, dude.
Right? I feel like
Yeah.
Paul George might be at the point where he just literally doesn't give a shit. He's just showing up because he has to. So they put the money in his account. James Harden, I could see trying to show up at home, especially behind his home crowd now, who's going to be, they're going to be feeding into that narrative as well, going nuts whenever he scores, right? They're going to be backing him. He's going to be motivated in front of the crowds.
There's also
been
a
nuts
lot
there so far.
I don't think there's really an incredible amount of bad blood there between Paul George and the Clippers. Not nearly as much as I think there is with Harden and the Sixers.
Okay.
So the motivation, I'd say, is definitely a little more tilted towards James Harden, too.
Okay. Bro, James Harden's been a rebounding machine this season.
He has.
An absolute rebounding machine. You think that continues today? Like, would you go with his high-ass PRA at 38?
They do have Drummond on the inside. The Sixers do. So it's kind of tough. I don't know if I love James Harden getting involved with rebounds. Maybe you take the rebounds out of it because that square is also greener than Miles Kuch. But points and assists potentials.
Ooh, that sounds a little sharper to me. That kind of sounds a little crabbier. I'm kind of in on that. Maybe you take out the rebounds. He's going to get, there'll be a pretty solid center in there on the other sides, and he's been green as ma. The guy's got 31 rebounds in his last 3 games. W math. Holy shit.
Wilt.
That's crazy, bro. And yeah, they've got some weird squares as well that make me feel like he might not be a rebound god today. They've got a half an offensive rebound after he got 2 last game that's up on the board. So yeah, maybe it's points and assists for James Harden. We take out the rebounds. 31.5.
Yeah, that could be it.
Huh. All right. Any other squares, any other narratives you want to check out here? I know we looked at Steph and Trae Young as well. We talked about them plenty. Any other Geysermans you want to give a peep to here? Maybe Chris Paul. He probably deserves at least a look, right?
He deserves a look. I just don't really know how to bet that. It's like, what is he going to do?
Certainly not his points. If you want to check out that square for Chris Paul. I don't know if I've ever seen a greener square. I have, but it's green. It's green. Maybe it's something weird for Chris Paul, but his rebounds are green as heck too. His threes is green as heck. His assist is pretty green. God, they think he's going to have a stinker of a game today. It looks like on Prize Picks compared to what he's been doing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know how I'd back CP3 there, chat. I feel like I like the other narratives better.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you guys think? Krabs, how about DeMar after Drake chirping him all game, told Drake good luck getting my name out of the rafters?
Yeah, DeMar is also playing the Raptors.
Every game has a fucking narrative today. What?
Yeah. I wish that game was in Toronto and I felt a little better about the Raptors keeping it close. That's the only things keeping me not off, but keeping me from loving it as much as some of the others.
That spread is fat. For the Clippers or for the Kings.
Yeah, because
Fat
the
spread.
Raptors have been like the greatest ATS team of all time. They just almost beat the Nuggets outright twice in a row. Now they're going to
Probably the Kings.
Sacramento. It's probably the Kings. Yeah.
Okay. Any other games in the NBA that you want to talk through here? Actually, there is one that I want to talk through and bring up because I want, honestly, chat's opinion here as well. Anybody who's been watching the NBA, can we talk about the Grizzlies and the Lakers for a second here? I kind of wanted to square up and take the Grizzlies. I don't even know if that's square. It's probably not fading LeBron and fading the Lakers, but Memphis is favorites and they are home. But I saw something the other night with John Morant and Zach Edey. And John Morant's starting to look like that guy. And maybe they've been inconsistent. I haven't tuned into every single Grizzlies game this season. And I'm also seeing they're coming off a loss at Brooklyn in their last game. And they have lost 3 of their last 5. It's not like they're playing great. But I feel like when I tuned in the other night and I saw John Morant, Zach Edey, and co. absolutely firing on all cylinders, I'm seeing the total in this game moving up. I'm seeing the spread move towards Memphis. I'm seeing all these bets on Pickett Pro on the Lakers. I mean, of course, it's the Lakers. It's LeBron. It's AD. Come on. I feel like it's Memphis here. Am I square for backing the Grizzlies? Am I putting too much stock into what I saw for a couple games earlier on the season between the rookie Edey and John Morant here? Talk me through it. What are you thinking?
I don't know if you're being too square. I kind of lean the Grizzlies here with you. I'll tell you what my biggest concern is because I think I'm right there with you. I love Zach Edey, and it looks like that last game he started to take shape a little bit. AD might eat him for lunch, dude.
Wow.
I worry about that. This is his first test against that he's going to get big time minutes, I think, against a really good defender. Like, he's not going to be on him the entire time, obviously, but the Lakers, while he's in the game or they're in the game together, they're going to get that switch, or if they need to switch, like anytime they want. So I'm a little concerned about that. Because that's the one spot I probably don't want to back Edey this early in the season. So
okay.
That's my big worry. It's my big worry. Plus, when the Grizzlies always make a lot of sense, that is when they chalk.
Shit. Do you think the Grizzlies make sense today?
I think they make
against
some
the
sense.
Lakers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, out of all the narratives I've seen on the feed, I think I've quite easily seen Ja the most so far, which is kind of including the Grizzlies. So that
Ja points is high, chat saying.
Yeah, maybe concerns me a little bit.
I thought the total in this game was high for a Lakers game, but
it's a little bit.
Maybe it's JJ Redick season. Looks like their offense a little bit more. They probably should.
No's been hooping. Who has a 3 square up on Prize Picks that I wanted to take too?
Really?
Our guy Jalen Wells.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been sneakily.
He's been carrying weight. Yeah.
More than that, he's been like one of their more consistent 3-point shooters. Because the show is obviously Ja and Bane, and then the big guys, Jaren when he's been in there, and Edey. But Jalen Wells has been hooping, dude.
Maybe buy low after a goose egg. Interesting.
Yeah, against the Nets.
Interesting. All right. I mean, to go back to your point as well about you're worried about AD just taking Zach Edey's lunch money. This is a tough matchup for Edey, right? First real game against a GOAT center, GOAT big. AD's rebounds is at 12.5. A little high, in my opinion, at least looking back at what he's been doing recently. But you guys tell me if that's high or not. Definitely a little bit red on the chart. Maybe he does bitch around Zach Edey a little bit. But look, I keep going back to these splits on Pickett Pro. It's making me want to take Memphis even more. Lakers a public dog, pretty clear.
Yeah,
pretty clear.
I'm sure as hell not taking the Lakers, but there's probably very few situations where the Lakers at plus check are not going to be public.
You're right.
Unless
they're just going to be public.
The Celtics or the Thunder or a handful of teams. Definitely not the Grizz.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. That's a good point. It's still the Lakers, right? Still going to be public. They're still the Yankees of the NBA. All right. This is a Prize Picks game for sure. Perfect rotation saying, I think I agree. I like points. Total's high in this game. 231.5 up from 228.
Yeah.
I kind of like points. Okay. What do you guys think, chat? What's up, C-Dot? What do you guys think about Memphis and the Lakers game? You guys got any reads, any plays? Rye likes the over in that game. I think I agree. I think I like points and I like Memphis in that one. Okay. Well, You want to move and groove and maybe talk a little bit about college football for a second here, and then we can take a trip to the ice. But we'd love to touch on really quick Ohio and Kent State, if you have anything in that one.
Well, hold
We
on.
just didn't touch
There's
on
one
it.
more. There's one more I want to
Oh,
see
shit.
what your thoughts are on the NBA first, because
Yeah, throw it my way. Sorry, Gates.
want to make sure my head's not a little biased here, but the Heat are plus 5.5 in Phoenix today, and
Okay.
the Heat have long been terrible at home. That's like a pretty consistent staple, and they've been really bad at home to start the season. They just lost on a buzzer beater to the Kings at home. Now they're headed on the road, and the Suns are streaking a little bit. Line is moving towards the Heat, which I think is pretty interesting. The only reason it's like not one of my favorite plays because I also have the Warriors on the road at a similar spread as a dog, and I like them a little better. But situationally, I couldn't see a more Heat spot like in the history of Heat basketball than to come out and win this game or compete in this game.
Look at the splits on the spreads. The bets, less than 40%. But the money on the spread. Yeah, the money on the spread, a little fat. People are dropping some big old bets on your Heat. Probably a good sign. Typically bigger bets or sharper bets, but who knows? Jovan, I think you might have found one there. I know you might be a little bit worried about being a little biased. It's your team, right? But I do think that's a good spot.
That's the thing. Like
you do
as
or
much
don't?
as I try to not bet the Heat because they're not a fun team to bet on. But going on the road after they've been shit at home, they've been struggling against the Suns too. I mean, they've dominated the last couple times they've played, and the Suns are getting real hot right now. It would be a shame if the Heat came in there without Jaime and did some damage.
Spread's moving their way without one of their better players. That makes sense, right?
Yeah. The real question is, what is Rav going to do in this game? Because these are the only two teams in the NBA he bets.
Yeah, we need the Rav report for this one. Rav, share yourself. Let me know what you're taking on this one. He said, a huge shame. I'm assuming he likes his
zero chance he would take the Heat.
Or his Suns. He likes his Suns. Yep. He likes his Suns. Okay. Well, anything else in the NBA, Jovan, that you want to touch on here?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Why don't we move and groove and talk about this college football game for a second? Ohio at Kent State. I just want to make sure it doesn't get swept. I personally don't love anything in this game, but I want to make sure, just for chat purposes here, that we talk about the other one of two football games on today. Obviously, love NIU. We've got Ohio and Kent State, though, in the other game. Kent State is fucking dog shit, man. They are 0-8. Look how far they've fallen. This Kent State team, Jovan, used to be one of the best teams in the MAC not that long ago. They're 0-8. They haven't gotten a win all season. No in action. Right off the rip, I want to bet them tonight on the spread. I don't care if it's moving towards Ohio. I don't give a shit. They're coming off a ginormous win against Buffalo where they put up 47 points. They just beat Buffalo at home 47-16. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. Ohio has. The Bobcats. Don't let them get hot. It might be too late. But the Bobcats aren't a program that I worry about. Unless they're bringing back Curtis Rourke. I got no issues fading Ohio. And they're laying 20.5. You can get almost 3 touchdowns with Kent State here. And I'll tell you what, that 20.5 number is one of those square numbers that I really never like to back for a favorite. It just looks like you're getting that easy, good hook, right? It's like you're backing the good team. Oh, all they got to do is win by 3 touchdowns, right? You get that nice minus 20.5 number. Love fading that number. Kind of want to back Kent State. But then I look at the splits for the spread over here on Pickett Pro, Jovan. What the hell's going on? I know we don't have that many bets or that much money in this game yet on Pickett Pro, but half the bets are on Kent State spreads. Could there still be some bias around this program maybe in the name of the school? Because you ask a rando down the street who's better at football, Kent State, Ohio, you might hear more Kent States just from how they've been in recent years, right?
Yeah, you're not wrong. I agree with everything you said because it seems incredibly easy and maybe like people to see the names and a super fat spread, especially with some of the way the dogs have been performing in these midweek games, whether it's, I mean, not Maction, I guess, but CUSA ball, Sunbelt ball, whatever it's been. And they say it looks, I don't know, pretty enticing. I will not be putting coin on this rat shit Kent State team. It's not where my money's going. I'll join you on NIU. I will not be investing in the Golden Flashes or whatever they are.
I'll take what I can get. Didn't expect to be able to sell you on the Kent State Golden Flashes sitting at 0-8, but you can at least respect that sell job, I guess, or that angle. I mean, what the fuck? 0-8 at home. Definitely not betting Ohio. Right? No chance. Can't. Looking at some prize pick squares in this game as well that might make people feel a little bit better about backing Kent State. Kind of like that NIU QB square that I took and talked about earlier on the Sharp Report. You've got Kent State's QB, Tommy Olatowski, who's not good. He's bad. Okay? Not good. The guy I took earlier, Hampton, for NIU, he's actually kind of solid. He could throw the football a little bit. He can play. He's been around the block. This guy, Tommy Olatowski, if you're taking this square or his more than passing yards, 181.5, that's extremely red. You could combine his last 2 games, and he barely even eclipses this number against 2 moose shit defenses in Western Michigan and Bowling Green. You're telling me he's at 181.5 in this game, though? Extremely red out charts? That gives me at least some sort of hope that he'll be able to move the rock against Ohio here at home. It's at least a good sign to me. And then again, looking at some of these receiver squares, like maybe it's just going to be garbage time. They're coming from behind, but all these receiver squares are high. The numbers are high, but the running backs are low. Maybe it's just going to be an air raid game, and maybe we just take that Olatowski square and not get cute with Kent State on the spread, but I'm kind of vibing with that nasty bad QB's passing yards more than.
I can get down with that.
Let's keep this a ball game. Let's have some respect. Hit the reset button. This is Maction. Going with the mindset tonight, Kent State, that you're 0-0. Okay, your first Maction game of the season, technically. First weekday game, I guess, for Kent State here. I think they got a chance. And we always know. I mean, look, I made rookie mistake number 1 last night, Jovan, taking a team total under. First night of Maction. Rookie mistake. What am I doing taking an under the first night of Maction? I don't care how you slice it. I don't care if it should have hit. Bad angle. I should have known better. What do we know about Maction? The craziest shit happens. Maybe Kent State wins this game outright. Wouldn't put it past them. It's not like Ohio's like that. Wouldn't put it past them. You never know in the Maction. Okay? Goods, check DMs if you can. From Trent, it looks like. And why don't we move and groove and talk a little bit about the ice? I feel like we have some more work to be done over here on the ice. You want to touch on the other couple games that we got going on?
Yeah. It's not too much to go over, I guess.
You got Detroit at Chicago and Vegas at Edmonton. I know you already talked about Nashville and the Caps. You like the over on the ice in that game. Love that. I was a little bit worried about Nashville opening up -105 or +100, depends on where you look in that game. But you're saying you like the Caps and you're going to bet the over in that game. So no Preds from you today. No Preds love, except for some goals.
There's a little Preds love. I mean, that's the reason I'm not betting the Caps. I do feel like they're going to come. They've come after these dog shit homestands and gone on the road and been aggressive. So like I think that's in the back of my mind. So like I wouldn't be shocked if the Caps lost today. I don't think they do, but I think it'll at least get weird.
Chat's asking who I have winning the college basketball championship. We talk about that at the end of the pods. W plug. We'll drop the link to that again here in the chat. If you want to check out who we have win the Natty, check out the pods. I'm not spoiling shit. I'm not spoiling anything. Goots, get that out of here, bro. You're not putting that on there. You're not putting that on there, bro.
That's what that DM was.
No way. That's
get that out
DM.
of here, bro.
No,
we're not putting that on
there. Chat needs to see it.
Somebody spent the time to make this. I saw this yesterday. I hoped nobody else would. Somebody spent the time. I don't know how long this could take. Maybe if Daniel's in chat, he could probably tell us. Somebody spent the time to make this graphic. What are we doing?
That's absurd.
What are we doing? Although that makes me look smart, it kind of makes me look creepy. I don't really like it, to be honest with you. Guys, I have hair. Okay, but I like wearing hats. I have hair. It's right here. Okay? I need to go ahead and prove this to you guys now because of fucking shit like this. I've got hair and plenty of it. Okay? I just like wearing hats. Unbelievable.
Literally Paul Feinbaum.
Unbelievable. I mean, yeah, he gave me the biggest fucking noggin of all time. He must have fucking stretched that puppy out. I got a big head, but not that big. Not that big. Jesus, man.
They probably took Paul Feinbaum's head to make this.
Yeah, probably.
Might have. Might have.
That's absurd.
That's actually absurd. Somebody took my LinkedIn profile picture and edited that. That's my LinkedIn PFP. What are we doing?
That's insane.
What are we doing? People are freaks. Okay. Anyways, back to the ice. Trent seems locked today, by the way, guys. I'd tell his stuff. He seems locked in the lap.
I don't. There's been some days where Trent has been incredibly unlocked. I don't know if I've seen him this unlocked in some time.
I don't even know if he's looked at a game today.
Like I don't know if he has. It's actually unbelievable.
It doesn't sound like it, to be honest. Detroit, Chicago. Let's talk about it. What do you think? Chicago's catching some steam here.
They are catching
15,
some
20
steam.
cents. And they're not getting bets. Weird.
Yeah. This
Weird.
is a big-time game for, I don't know. This is the primetime slot for the NHL tonight. You got Connor Bedard coming off of a game where I think he had 3 assists against the Ducks, which I know a lot of people were on his stuff to score a goal because the Ducks give up a shit ton of shots, and he was ripping. But he got robbed with some stuff. So I think he's going to have a pretty good performance tonight. The Red Wings also give up a good amount of shots. So, like, they're going to be ripping. The Blackhawks are at their best when they're ripping and he's a part of the offense. So, like, I do probably lean Blackhawks. I don't love it, though.
Okay. Yeah, I lean Blackhawks as well. Kind of weird they're catching steam, not getting any bets, but probably not confident enough to fucking take it. Definitely not confident enough to take it.
Yeah.
Vegas and Edmonton. Not a late night game, but the latest game of the night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Vegas catching plus 125 on the ML here.
Well, I'll tell you, I was very prepared to be all over the Oilers today because the Oilers.
And I want to hear why you're not.
Well, they're coming off of a shutout. They look terrible. This whole like little road trip. They had a road trip where they actually looked kind of good. They won 3 of the last 4 of the road trip, and then they came back home, bageled against the Devils. Now Connor McDavid is back. So that's why they're catching a bunch of steam, and that's why I'm kind of off. So, like, Vegas, I still think they win this game, and I think that might be the juice they need in a big game like this, but I can't go to the grave with chasing McDavid's steam after he's back.
Yeah, for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah.
Although, look at the splits.
Well, that was probably because VGK was almost plus, or they were plus check before the McDavid news.
Okay.
So if you started this money from here on the rest of the day, it probably would not look like that.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Okay. Yeah, keep me away from this game. Initially, I liked Edmonton on the ML, but it makes a lot more sense why they're catching some steam. I'm not backing them with their goat back. No chance.
Yeah,
no chance. Looks like the Gen even likes Vegas a little bit, potentially. Talking about him in chat. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good on Edmonton then. Okay. Awesome. We want to get over to the college basketball boards and maybe take a peep at some of those games we didn't touch on for about, 10, 15, and then we'll get to the squad ride here. But maybe we're in, a good spot to talk about some CBB. What do you think?
Let's do that.
Rutgers Wagner, legally obligated to tell people that Ace Bailey is out in this game. One of the 2, top prospects for Rutgers. So if you're wondering why that spread is not as fat as you initially thought it would be, 2 reasons. Number 1, because of that. Number 2, Wagner's a solid program. Wagner's no slouch. They got a good coach. They got a good team. Not saying they're going to win this game outright or even cover. I'm not going to bet this game with the Ace Bailey news, but there's a reason why they're only 17.5, and it's not just because of that freshman being out in this game. Wagner's no slouch. No slouch. Certainly wouldn't be betting Rutgers, but with them having an injury, I'm not getting cute and fading or tailing.
Yeah, I probably would have been on Wagner if it wasn't for the injury because I'm all down just like St. Louis to start fading Rutgers from the start of the season, especially against a pretty good defensive team, slow team, weird team. So like this would be the spot. Still might be, but not going to go to the grave with it. Buying bad news.
Yep. Yeah, if Ace was playing and this was the spread, I'd be on Wagner.
I still think with him playing, it was really short too. It's like I'd still be down with it. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, I just don't want to fade the injury. I'm with you. I agree. What else we got up here, Gootsy? The Mercyhurst Lion, or what is their mascot?
Lakers.
My fucking magnifying glass out here. The Lakers?
Literally LeBron.
That's a sick mascot. Huh. How about Mercyhurst? Don't let them get hot. It might be too late. They're playing Morgan State today. Okay. That makes sense. Well, look, these teams have both played a game. We don't even have to talk about this one. I just wanted to bring up Mercyhurst because they're a new D1 squads. But now that we're here, they have played a game so far this season. They hung around at times against George Washington in their first D1 game. Mercyhurst did, but at the end of the day, they still lost by 17 in that game. I don't really think they're anything special. And I remember seeing on my feeds, Mercyhurst lost their best player of this on their team about 2 weeks before the season. So not really like a Lemoyne situation where I, did a little bit of research and liked what I saw out of a team coming up and wanted to back them early on. They lost their goats. I think that's all their mojo, and they kind of got crushed in that first game. So I'm not looking to maybe back them early on like I was with Lemoyne last year. And then you look at Morgan State. They were +5 in their first game, and they lost by 13 at Howard. That's a tough opponent. That's a tough place to play, probably the toughest in their conference. So I'll give them a pass, but not really in the mood to fade or back them in that spot. But they're laying 9. I'd say gun to my head in GTA. I guess I would bet Mercyhurst, seeing them in single digits. Maybe seeing, maybe a little added motivation with it being their second game, in D1 on the road to Morgan. But I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Morgan State's also terrible.
Yeah, I'm out.
Really bad.
Thoughts on Lehigh and Georgetown? This is a big year for Georgetown.
It's a pretty big year.
We talked about it on the pod a little bit. Big year for Coach. He's got a lot to prove. They've got some new pieces coming in. They've got one of the best mid-major transfers coming in from Harvard, right? A really good scorer. I'm excited to see this Georgetown team get out there on the court. They've got one of your TCU legends out there as well. Not in a rush to bet them, but very, very curious to see how this game plays out. I thought that spread was a little bit short, but Lehigh, I don't know really how to read that team. Last year, I feel like they kind of got hot at the end of the season, but they're not really a great program. This number probably is still a little bit short, considering it's big school Georgetown, but not betting this game. And look at the splits on Lehigh on the spread. I know it's not a lot of bets. Maybe that's all alumni, but Jesus, it's all Lehigh on the spread. And who the heck wants to bet Georgetown at this point? Probably nobody. So maybe it is the Hoyas at home, but I do think that spread's a little short.
I mean, I can't really understand how. I know it's Georgetown, but like Northwestern, Lehigh's already played a game. Northwestern was -15.5 against them, and they beat them 90-46. Like Lehigh shot 2 of 17 from 3. Everything about that game was a destruction. And that was Northwestern we're talking about, a team that is still like talented and decent, not Georgetown, but that spread after that game looks crazy.
You're right. You're right. Fuck this game, though. Fuck this game. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. You want to talk about UVA for a second? They got a big-time matchup for their first game without Tony Bennett. They're welcoming in the Campbell Camels. Kind of a gritty, scrappy college basketball team. Usually pretty raw and athletic. Doesn't really have a lot of good, like skill players or shooters, but they're typically, pretty athletic, pretty fast. They like to run a little bit, the Campbell Camels. Don't really have much on them this season so far, but leaning into Virginia and what they got going on over there, I mean, their program's got to be minimally, at least a little bit in turmoil here. They lose Tony Bennett a couple weeks before the season. Maybe the guys knew, maybe they didn't, but either way, I don't know if I'd want to fade UVA in their new regime with the new coach having a lot to prove here. And after how bad UVA's been in recent seasons, I'm also not in a rush to fade UVA in general, but Campbell's a team that maybe could match UVA, at least athletically, in this matchup. And look at the splits, though. Everyone's fading UVA, just like I said, because nobody wants to fucking bet UVA, just like nobody wants to bet Georgetown after all that shit going on. So you really can't fade them either. Kind of beat.
Yeah. And I mean, like, not only can Campbell match them, like, physically, but they also are similar, like, style-wise. Like, they run pretty slow. So, like, this is a game where, like, I guess UVA seems sharp because, like, why are they such big favorites? Nobody really wants to take that because, I mean, they really don't have all that much talent on the roster, and you lose Tony Bennett, obviously, so that program's kind of in shambles very close to the start of the season, and now we're starting against the Campbell team that is still somewhat talented. But I don't want to fade them because it feels like Campbell is going to play their game, which that also comes with keeping the game close, tight, and just overall playing a very slow-paced game. It's like I like Campbell. I'm not going to take it because it seems really easy, but can't get with the UVA sharp side.
Yep. I mean, look at all the bets. Not that there's a lot of money or bets in this game in general, but compared to what we have here, I mean, all the bets and handles on the under in this game. Not really a shocker. People probably just blindly bet UVA under.
All
right?
117 people that have UVA minus 1650 money line in something need to close the book.
Jesus, dude.
Like, what are we doing?
That's crazy. Well, I want to talk about this total for a second because this morning it was down to like 128.5 or 129. And I know that it opened up higher, but now it's starting to go back up. And with all the bets, everywhere I'm looking, all the bets, all the splits, everything is all over the under here. Not really surprised. People probably just blindly betting UVA unders because they're probably thinking no way this fucking team scores without Tony Bennett. But I'm thinking the other way around. Tony Bennett's defensive mind. Maybe they put up a little bit more points. Or maybe they run a little bit of faster tempo than you would expect under the new regime here. I kind of like that over in this game. Yeah. Kind of a nasty contrarian over.
Find a way.
Points, especially with that total moving up. I really don't want to back UVA to score points though today. Fuck them. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's see any other good games, Goodsy. We can kind of skip through some of these other meat games and get to some of the bigger ones, I guess. Spending too much time talking about these dick cheese teams. But why don't we talk about a better game? There's got to be one. What about Oakland and Boise State? You got Oakland, the team that went on that crazy run last year with Jack Gaethje and Trey Townsend. Gaethje's retired, or I don't know what the fuck he's doing, probably selling insurance. Townsend is transferred somewhere else, so this Oakland team is depleted. But last year, Oakland finally did what we've all been waiting for them to fucking do, and it took them until about halfway through the season to lock in. But I've been trying to bet and back this Oakland program for years, Jovan, and they've been sharp. They've gotten guys. They've got a solid coach, and they've just never been able to come through and fucking finish games and do the job. Last year, they finally did. Could this now be an opportunity where we fade back Coach Rice and the Boise State Broncos that, in my opinion, has a pretty good team coming back, a bunch of veterans that I'm kind of high on this season? Nobody really wants to back Coach Rice and the Broncos. They're not that fun. They're not flashy. They play defense. They got Coach's son out there. I kind of like them laying 17.5, though, after the way they ended the season last year and the way Oakland ended the season with some upsets in March Madness. People may be blindly betting them. Look at the fucking splits on the spread right here. It's almost 50-50. What are we doing? I think it's Boise State.
Probably is.
I think it's Broncos. They roll.
Yeah. Certainly not taking Oakland. I'm making it a goal, though, that I'm going to not bet the most obvious sharp play on the board for the beginning of the season every day.
You think this is it?
I think this is far and away it. It's
Wow.
not even close. So, I still think Boise State's the right side. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, we were kind of on an island, the both of us, with fading the team that was popular coming into the offseason with Santa Clara, St. Louis, and everybody got burned on that. Now they see a team with, coming back from the offseason and coming back from last year's run that they actually do want to fade. Maybe bites them in the ass. But I still like Boise State. I just don't want to do it. That's my one goal for the start of the season.
Yeah, you just got fake Shar vibes going on here. You're not loving it.
Yeah, not even. I mean, I guess out of the couple I've seen the first couple days of the season, this one's not the worst of the bunch. But
okay,
I want to stay away.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not sprinting to the counter to lock in Boise. I lean that way with you, but probably nothing more. Probably nothing more. What about San Diego State and UC San Diego? This one's looking at me funny.
Is it?
Although fading San Diego State is bad business, just like fading UNLV. But you know what, chat? I don't give a fuck. I kind of want to fade them. And I kind of want to back UCSD here on the road as an extremely short dog against Coach Dutch's Aztecs here as they try to rebuild this program, get them back up to the level where they expect to be. And that's going to the fucking tournament every year. Give me UCSD down from +12 to +10. In this spot on the road, no business. They're down to almost single digits against one of the best teams at home in college basketball history. I don't care what Coach Dutch has to do over there and rebuild. This gives me serious fading UNLV vibes like the other night, and I'll tell you what, I'll take bets like that 10 times out of 10, and they will hit more often than they lose. Alabama State, I'm still pissed about it 2 days later. I'm still pissed. Yep, but that was the right side. It might have been a fucking loser. But I'll take bets like that every day of the week. And this gives me the same vibes here with UCSD. Crummy team coming on the road, getting way short of a number against a legacy program in San Diego State that's got a lot of new pieces coming in.
Yeah, a lot of new pieces. And it feels like I don't know, usually the offense isn't the sticking point for San Diego State, obviously, but they at least have somewhat established roles coming into the season. Like you had Jaden Ledee coming. You knew he was going to be the guy to take over and be the guy, I don't know, in the mid-range and take a lot of shots. And then the point guards, I guess, in general, are going to facilitate. Feels like it's kind of very open this year, which UCSD is a pretty decent defensive team, so maybe that causes them some issues. I also don't see where the 3-point shooting is coming from if you're San Diego State. Again, not that they've really ever been super proficient in that area, but if you're going to burn San Diego, it's probably where you want to do it.
Chat keeps asking about Minnesota and Oral Roberts, which is up here on the screen. So I do want to touch on that. And then I want to touch on the Rider San Diego game, and then we can get to the squad right here. Finish up CBB. Chat, last call on questions in these games. All right, fire those puppies off. Let me know what you guys like. Let me know what questions you guys have. Minnesota, Oral Roberts. I didn't love this game. Jovan, do you have thoughts? Oral Roberts, another one of those programs. It's kind of trendy, kind of public. They've been good in recent years. They've made runs, to obviously March Madness, kind of like what they're building out there. But Minnesota, obviously a bigger name school that really hasn't gotten it done in recent years. They've kind of been a joke of their conference. Is this number big? I mean, it's moving back towards Oral Roberts, 16.5 to 15.5, but is this spread a little large? Is there some respect on Minnesota here? Or are you interested in maybe back in the Golden Eagles against the Golden Gophers, the Battle of the Golds?
I could be convinced. I feel like the line's probably right. Not too high on Minnesota, not too low either. And Oral Roberts is a team that, I can't say I have the slightest inkling of what I'm going to do with them at any part this season. So, I could see it being kind of close. That feels like one of the games where either way, it's going to be right around that number.
All right. Yeah, and then the total, looks like the over's getting pelted with bets in that game. And the total is moving up accordingly. So I know chat was asking about that total. I don't really love anything in that game.
No.
I don't. Lipscomb, Arkansas. Lipscomb also a trendy dog. Kind of a similar spot, although Arkansas obviously has a lot more to prove tonight and this season, right? Very, very excited to see how good Arkansas is. But if you think I'm betting them night one, you're crazy. No chance. I don't want to back Lipscomb either, though. I really don't.
Yeah, Lipscomb just beat Duquesne 2 days ago as well, going off a win.
Yeah, I don't want to back them. Kind of a tough spot here.
Duquesne.
Look at all the bets on the Razorbacks. Interesting.
Yeah.
High Point over. Jay Bone is saying I would just lay with High Point, man. Great reminder as well. I kind of liked High Point. That was one of the honorable mentions for me today. Fading Coppin State. Jovan, you've already done that once this season. Why not run it back again? High Point. They're going to be really fucking good once again this season, and we know how they play. They like to run, push the tempo, put up a lot of points. Very fun offense to watch. Total in this game's moving up. Spread's moving 4 points towards High Point. I think Coppin State is that bad. And the way High Point finished the season last year after being one of the best, trendiest mid-major teams, people were thinking maybe they make a run, make the tournament, kind of blew it. They got revenge on their minds. I think in game one, they show up and show out, and they dominate Coppin State, who is that bad. We saw that the other night when we faded them.
Yeah, I would do the same. The total almost feels really low.
Yeah.
I remember the High Point totals we were getting last year. They were.
Could it maybe just be because Coppin State is that fucking bad?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. All right, one more game. Late night Geyserman. You guys keep asking about it in chat. You guys are crazy for wanting to play in this one, and I fucking love it. I might have to bet it with you guys. Rider, San Diego. San Diego is a team that I wanted to back last year. I thought they'd be better. Thought they'd make improvements, kind of like their coach, like some of the younger pieces they brought in. They stunk it up. They weren't great. Maybe this is the year we back Rider. Maybe I was a year early. San Diego. Maybe I was a year early. Rider's also not good at all. The spread's moving from -1 for San Diego to -2.5. I think -3s are starting to pop up here on some of the books. In Rider's first game this season, they lost 50-85 at UCLA. San Diego has not played a game yet this season. I kind of like them -2.5, catching some steam. Rider last year was kind of a wagon against the spreads. They were a little bit better than people expected. It's better than I expected, at least. They were winning some games. Wouldn't mind fading Rider and back in San Diego here at home to get a big win in their first game of the season.
Yeah, I don't know that I love that. And maybe it's a little, I don't know, hindsight stuff, or not hindsight, just looking back, because remember we did the same song and dance, I think, a lot of conference games last year with San Diego, where they were always sharp, always getting
they never
line
came
moves
through
at home,
Yeah.
never came through, and now it's their first game against a Rider team that just got blown out by UCLA. And I think that game's a lot more UCLA is actually just that good this season and not
they're
Rider's
back.
dog shit. So I don't know. I don't know that I love San Diego. If I were to
Okay.
take anything, it would probably be Ryder.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm off that game now. Fuck. All right. Jovan, W insight, W analysis. We got about 5 minutes left. I don't want to run over today. Can we lock in and can we find a third consecutive squad ride W in a row?
Let's do it.
Goodsy, run that shit. I want to see that train. All right, chat. Cut the shit. Lock the fuck in. Get those pens clicked. Get those notebooks out. I'm done messing around. I want to go on an absolute streak of a lifetime here with squad rides, and it starts today. We've done our job the last 2 nights. Let's make it 3 in a row. Why not us? Why not us? 2 words, chat. Why not us? Okay. Lock in. Jovan, we got a lot of options today. I want to go ahead and reiterate what I said earlier today. I fucking love my plays, and I'm sure you do as well.
Lead the way.
Would not mind leaning into some of these. I mean, I respectfully feel like NIU and Cal State Northridge have to go in here. They have to go in here. Yeah, they're going in. We got college football play chat. NIU, the Huskies on the ML, and Cal State Northridge. Unfortunately, fading Lemoyne. It is what it is. We'll see how it plays out. But my favorite college basketball play of the day today is the Matadors and Cal State Northridge. Don't let them get hot. It might be too late. Okay. 2 words, chat. Do our jobs. Okay. Jovan, I'm looking at your plays. Love the Warriors spreads. Like the over on the ice. Like the Notre Dame spreads. I'd be more than down to put all these in here, to be honest with you. Where's your head at? What's your favorite play?
My head really likes Notre Dame. Really likes Notre Dame. That is a big spread. Did earn it yesterday, so I'd love to put that in now today. But I'll tell you what, the gut is loving the Warriors.
I think we put the Warriors in here. Do we want to put both in, chat? Do we want to add another college basketball play into the folds? We've been good with the 3 plays, 3 winners recently. Do we want to make it a 4th and add Notre Dame into the folds? The Irish. What do you guys think?
No Goose thinks.
Yeah, I'm reading chat right now. Gootsy, what do you think, bro? You think we keep it to 3?
No.
Or do you think we run it with 4? You think we add the Irish? Yeah. Shocker. Gootsy wants to run it with the Irish. That's the squads. Is the Notre Dame lid on today? Do we have a Notre Dame hat on Goots's head?
Oh, it's on. They can't see it.
Oh,
it's
okay.
on.
They can't see it, but Goots is wearing a Notre Dame hat. All right, we're putting this shit in there. Come on.
Love that.
He's wearing a fucking Irish hat. You're telling me we're not putting them in here? Give me a break. Give me a break. Chat, 4 plays, 4 winners. You got 2 minutes. Hurry up. Go, go, go. Lock the fuck in. 4 plays, 4 winners for the squad rides. Let's fucking cash today, just like we did the last 2 days. We're 3-2 this month on squad rides. Let's make it 4-2. Let's put our foot on the fucking gas pedal and let's crush the bookies this weekend. Plain and simple. Okay? I'm coming for blood. It's been too square of a month, especially with NFL. It's fucking beat. It's been square season, the year of the squares. I'm done with that. Let's lean into college basketball. Let's keep smacking plays.
I don't even know what to give my vote to of your 2 plays. I like your 2 plays.
Actually, yeah, nobody wants to bet my plays, but whatever. Cal State Northridge ML getting some steam, though. Nobody wants the Huskies. My favorite play. I emphasized it in the beginning of the show, and I said it's my favorite college football weekday play, maybe of the season, definitely in the last 2 weeks, and nobody wants to take it. After I went 10-5-1 last week in college football and 10-5 the week before in college football, all tracked, all bet for $250 a unit. What more do I have to do? Do I have to do cartwheels? Do I have to do a backflip?
What does Krabs got to do, man?
What more do I have to say? I am literally hitting at a 2-to-1 clip right now in college football over the last 2.5 weeks. What more do I have to do to tell you guys that NIU is one of my favorite plays in a long time? Not saying it has to win, but it certainly should have more votes than this. It certainly should. Chat, 4 plays, 4 winners. NIU ML, Cal State Northridge ML, the Warriors +6, and Notre Dame -27.5. Lock the fuck in. Lock the fuck in. I don't think Chad has the nuts.
I don't know if they have.
I don't think they've got the
for
nuts.
Northridge.
I don't know if they do. I don't know if they want it. Do they want it bad enough? Do they want to go back to college basketball for 3 straight winners in a row? I don't know if they've got the heart. I don't know. And they immediately take over first place as soon as I say that. Sure. Chat, get those votes in. Make it happen. If it's a tie, I don't want it to fucking tie. We're going to pick. We're not revoting. So get those votes in. Hurry up. Go, go, go. 4 plays, 4 winners. NIU, Cal State, Northridge, the Warriors, and Notre Dame. Who's it going to be? And it's the Matadors. Wow. All right. Fading Lemoyne. Back at Cal State, Northridge. As I bitched for 20 minutes about not taking NIU, we'll go to the Hardwoods, where we've been cashing recently, and take the Cal State, Northridge Matadors. The better squad, the more talented squads. They get the win tonight. There's a reason why they're catching steam. The sharpest play on the college basketball slate today. And I'll meet you guys at the cash counter after they fucking smack. Don't miss this one tonight. Get some eyes on it. Sweat this one out just like the potatoes last night. That game was electric. That game was electric. Okay? Jovan, W stroke today. W stream. Okay? W Marius Cash coming in resubbing as well. We appreciate you. Guys, do me a favor. Sign up for Team Trent. Today's the last day you can sign up and potentially get picked to be on our team. So if you don't do it today, you have no chance. Sign up today. We'll drop the link one more time and stick around for the surge stream.